Let's talk about what a mindset is. I define a mindset as the settings of the mind, or a set of memorized behavior, deep-rooted cultural beliefs, perceptions, emotional reactions, and unconscious habits that basically run our body. They are basically the operating systems of our bodies. I find it very sad that it has to take a catastrophic event for most of us to change our mindset. We get stuck in the same routine, in the same process, in the same way of thinking for years and years until that one day when something really bad happens in our lives. It has to be the death of someone, the loss of a job, or a very serious illness that happens to us for us to change. Sometimes the breadwinner of the family has to pass for the wife and the children to adapt. These days it is very easy to find 30-something years old gallivanting around markets, around clubs, around every other place in the city, carefree, because they know their father is always there to take care of them. They don't care about the consequences of the actions that they do because they know their father will always be there to bail them. Women, you see them spending without any thought because they know their husband has money. Then all of a sudden, that husband, God forbid, passes. Then what? First of all, the wife is left with a very spoiled child to take care of. The wife has to pay rent. The wife has to provide food. The wife has to provide for the school fees. The son now has to buy his own clothes because the mother cannot be feeding a 30-something years old child. And this is how people end up messed with in life. It's because they never ever change their mindset. That child has been brought in excess, in privilege. His mindset or her mindset has been that of, Dad I want, Mom I want, here have it, here have some. That child has never developed a mindset of having their own thing. They have never even at once went and sat down and imagined their life without the support of the parent. The only thing that they know in their entire life, and they are not even willing to know anything else, is being handed everything on a silver platter. I am sorry to use such an extreme example, but basically it is what happens. Something tragic has to happen. Personally, I would rather change my mindset from a place of joy, from a place of fulfillment, and from a place of inspiration than to have to change my mindset from a place of crisis and tragedy. I would rather not. Most of us will wake up in the morning and go to that job they hate, that job they loathe. And why? Because we know if we don't report to work, we are going to get fired. How are we going to afford that 3-bedroom house we live in the leafy suburbs, where we are competing with our fellow peers, where we need to show them that yes, we can also live a bougie life, a life of excess. We can go to those expensive joints along Thika Road or Mombasa Road or whatever. You wake up in the morning and you go to work from a point of fear, the fear of losing that paycheck. Because if you lose that paycheck, then everything comes down crumbling. You're basically living in a house of cards. Most of us have even lost the dream of owning something of their own. Most of us really wanted to be entrepreneurs while in campus. But right now we are work donkeys. We get to job at 8, we get from job at 5. And if you put in the hours of preparation before going to work, means you're waking up at 5 for you to arrive at work at 8. And when you leave work at 5, you arrive home at 8. You are wasting a lot of your time and your energy on things that were not your dreams, but because they were others' dreams. Because you have been conditioned by social media to think that if you're not wearing the trending clothes, the trending shoes, if you do not have the latest iPhone, then you are behind as a man or as a woman. You are dreading the emotions and the feelings that you feel whenever people laugh at you because you don't have this or this, or whenever people look down at you because you can't afford this and this. Instead of conditioning your mind of thinking, okay, what if I move out of this 3-bedroom house in a leafy suburb and I just find a bed sitter or a single room or just a decent place of living, a cheaper place, and then I save all the extra money that I was using on car payment loans, on this big house, on all those utilities and extra expenses that come from all these other things that you're forcing yourself down the throat because you have been programmed to think that that is how you're supposed to live. You take this money, you save this money, you start that business that you have always wanted to start. You start it small, it grows. But you're afraid, your mind has set itself such a way that you are afraid of starting selling those fries at a kibanda. You cannot do that. People will laugh at you. What I mean is that you need to chill, take your brain into a place where you can already see yourself with your fries business, that it is paying your rent, it has grown into a big business. Start from it being a small business, from a kibandaski to a smaller shop, and then to a whole big place, to a chain of fast food restaurants. Condition your brain to feel that emotion even before you get there. You cannot work without having experienced that emotion of being there. You won't work hard for it. You will be always coming back to the emotion that you feel when people laugh at you, when people ridicule you, when people say that you can't. But if you condition your brain to have those thoughts, fun fact, I saw a study state that a human being can have over 60,000 thoughts in a day. Now imagine you having the same thoughts, the same 60,000 thoughts. It means you will make the same exact 60,000 decisions and choices that you have always made. It means that you will have exactly the same 60,000 outcomes that you had yesterday because you are having the same thoughts. Which means those results will result into the same emotions that you had yesterday. You're not going to change your mindset, clear your mind, and think of where you want to be tomorrow, what you really need in life. If you don't let your brain become a map of the future, then it will definitely become a record of the past. You can literally tell how today will be based on the thoughts that you have in the morning when you wake up. If you wake up already defeated, you know that that day is just going to be a very terrible day. If you're not being inspired, pushed, guided by a vision of the future, and you're still clinging on the memories, routines, and the predictability of the past, then your life will not change. In fact, you can definitely predict that you will have a very terrible future. Your mindset is your operating system. Your body is the hardware. You can train your body to be the programmer of your mind, of your operating system. How do you do that? You think of where you want to be and the emotions associated with you achieving that which you want to be. You want to be successful? Let your brain feel the emotions of being successful. You want to be happy? Let your brain feel those emotions. You want a very functional family. A family where you do not quarrel with your spouse each and every day. Free your mind. Just imagine you and your wife, or you and your spouse just laughing, enjoying the day. To process that emotion, when you feel it, you create neural pathways in your brain that now start working towards that, and they start diminishing the previous pathways that were filled with pain and regrets and all that. Therefore, you get at least a new line in that code that is trying to feel some joy, to feel some love in that home. This is how you change your operating system. This is how you change your mindset. First, feeling the emotion of an outcome that you want before you even experience it. There's this thing I know for a fact. There's no way you can think better than you feel. Your feelings guide your thoughts. Your thoughts guide your actions. Your actions repeatedly become habit. Listen, how you react to something is a result of emotions, it's a result of thoughts, and that becomes who you are. Those emotional reactions are what make your personality. An emotional reaction that has been delayed for a few hours becomes your mood. If that mood persists for weeks or months, it becomes your temperament. If your temperament persists for years, it becomes your personality. What am I saying? Mindset is tied to emotions. You have to feel emotions of a better life than you are living right now for you to change the past routines that have led you to the life you are having right now. There's no way you will work on being happier with you never having experienced happiness. You have to feel it in your brain. You have to imagine happiness. You have to imagine what you want. You have to lay down the plan. In a previous video, I spoke about be, do, have. You have to be there mentally, emotionally, for you to do the things that will lead you there, for you now to have whatever you want. So there is no mindset without emotions. In the simplest way that I can, this is what I'm saying. Emotions determine your mindset. If you need to change your habit right now, your situation right now, you first have to feel the results of you changing your habits and you changing your emotions right now. You have to imagine, how would it feel if I had money? How would it feel if I was healthier? If I was much more muscular? How would I feel when I walk in public and everybody admires my new body? You have to feel it. You have to teach your brain to feel how you would feel if you parked your new BMW in front of your friends. You have to feel that first for you to work towards it. And if you feel that first, your mindset will change. Forget the old programming that the schools, the religion, our beliefs, our traditions, and all that crap taught us. This is no longer 1455 when we used to live a communal life where we used to have communal cows, communal land, and what have you. This is the 21st century. If you are still watching this, thank you very much for the support. Thank you for the watch hours. Kindly like, share, subscribe. I am doing a challenge where I need to put out one video every day for the next 30 days. I hope I succeed. So see you in the next one. Wakanda forever.